Hi, everybody. It's Reverend Therese Lee, and this is Unity Spiritual Center, Hilton Head Island, South Carolina. Today is January 8th. We welcome you. We are grateful. As you're comfortable, go ahead, sign in. Let us know where you're from. If you have a prayer intention, a prayer request, if you would like to receive our emails, let us know in the box on Facebook. No matter what day it is, no matter what time it is, we're grateful that you're here with us. So let us start in prayer. Close your outer eyes as you're comfortable and breathe. We breathe in and we exhale. That's the process of life, isn't it? Living loving presence, we are grateful that the light of God surrounds us. And we are the light of God, that the love of God enfolds us. We are the love of God. The power of God protects us. We are the power of God, and the presence of God watches over us. We are the presence of God. We are grateful that wherever God is, we are blessed. Right here, right now, because wherever we are, God is. And so it is. Amen. Happy 2023, y'all, right? Here we go. So I invite you again to take in a deep breath and exhale and stay in this now moment together that you and I are sharing. Present to the presence that is always and in all ways with us, and with the consciousness that each of us brings to this moment over the ethernets. That we are one. There's a American Indian wisdom that I'd like for us to share. It's simple, and it makes so much sense to me. The left wing and the right wing both belong to the same bird. Wow. So we, even through birds, can understand, as well as other parts of nature, right, that we are all one. You and I are one. So we get to acknowledge that as the new year comes for us, there's feelings of joy, there might be feelings of loss, all the gambit of feelings. I encourage you to always feel what it is that you're feeling. Be real. And that way then you can heal it as well. Choices. That's what we get. I was in my late 20s when I found out I had choices. I don't know why or what I was thinking back then, but what I started to learn is that I don't have to really wait on anything, that I can set my intention, which is, we did our burning bowl last week about letting everything go. So this week we're setting the intention of creating who it is I want to be in 2023. Of course, we go inside, we get spirit-led, and then we're able to listen and discern what it is ours to do. It's so empowering to know we can set an intention, see it as so, know it to be, and then allow it to be. So my father was a Big Ten referee, a coach, a camp counselor, a teacher, and all sorts of things as I was growing up. And his favorite teaching for us 11 kids and all of his teams and all the different athletes that he worked with was this. It still holds true today. It is our response to winning or losing that makes us a winner or a loser. I love it. I try to teach this to my grandchildren today. How is it in our mind we're seeing ourselves, regardless of the score? We get to choose. And we teach this in Unity every single week of all the classes that we do. It's always about how you and I choose to respond. Make change, work for us, is what our responsibility is. Because that's the one constant in life besides taxes, right? Is change. Excuse me. So let's look at the greatest gift that you and I get besides life itself. And that's the gift of choice. We can say no as a complete sentence. We can breathe. Let's do it together, always and in all ways, as we are discerning and choosing what it is we want to be, what it is we are showing up as. Now, of course, what we know in kindergarten, what we learn in kindergarten rather, is that there will be natural causes or results or consequences based on our choices, right? So that's why we go into prayer first. We discern. So when we make a decision, it comes from the Spirit leading us to our highest and our best. Emma Curtis Hopkins, a teacher of the teachers back in the early 1900s, in this new thought genre that unity is included in, said this: "The world will persist in exhibiting before you what you persist in affirming the world is." Let me say it again. The world will persist in exhibiting before you, before us, what we persist in affirming the world is. So, do you have an attitude of gratitude, or do you have an attitude of we get to decide and choose our attitudes and know that perception is based on projection? So as a redhead, when I see the sun out, I get to choose, yay, the sun's out, or ooh, the sun's out, and put on a lot of sunscreen. We get to choose what it is we are going to see in the world. You and I make choices with every thought, consciously or not. Every thought has a consequence, right? We know this. This is not just unity. This is world speak, right? So our lives, we could say, are the natural result of the compilation of the choices we've made. We get to own it, don't we? Don't we? So what drew me to unity almost 35 years ago now is that I learned to be aware of my thoughts, to question them, to discern before I made a choice. I love this. God, the great presence, isn't doing unto us, which is what I learned as a little girl. No, we get to stop and ask ourselves, can I afford the consequences of my choices? How empowering is that? To know that we are not being done unto, we are having things happen through us. Right? So this is my living vessel here on earth. You have yours. Things happen through us, as us, and is us. We know that we get to have a say about the choices we make, the responses to the situations that show up in our life. This is not metaphysical bypass. This is not metaphysical malpractice. Things happen. We get to choose to respond. How will we do this? Will the choice I make bring me peace? Will the choice that I make bring me happiness? I don't know. You'll know for yourself. But ask yourself that question. That's a Post-it note moment. Another teacher of the teachers was Ella Wilcox Smith, And I apologize. Her name was Ella Wheeler Wilcox. And she said, one ship drives east and the other drives west by the same self winds that blow. 'Tis the set of the sails and not the gales that determines the way we go. My husband was a sailor. Many of you out there are sailors. You get this, right? So up go the masts, check out the wind. What way are you going? And when you've decided which way, you set the sails to help you get there. So today the question is for all of us landlubbers, how will you set your sails as you sail through life? Right? Myrtle Fillmore, our Unity co-founder, said this about choice. You do not have a problem except the one that is in your own mind, and you put it there. Now, Byron Katie, who I talk about often, didn't even know Myrtle Fillmore. However, this is the same thing. The suffering is caused by our thinking. The unhappiness by our thinking about whatever it is that's happening in our life. We get to, with each thought, decide who will I serve? My ego or my love? We get to choose. I love this. I wish I would have known this earlier on, earlier than 30. Will you serve love, happiness, peace, plenty, or power? In other words, what I call God in the world. We get to choose. Or we can have that attitude that comes along with the face and grumpiness. We get to choose. Now, do things happen in life? Of course they happen. Do I get sad? Yes. And then I have to choose, okay, I am going to sit with my sadness, the reality that is of another person in our family dying. And then I get to choose, how will I live on in memory of this person? Mary Jane was a great storyteller. My kids call her Grandma Bloom. And I am going to start telling stories in honor of her. We get to choose. Another motivational speaker, whose name was Eagle Bear, wrote this. Think of your life as a canoe, and your decisions and actions are your paddle. You get where you are going, one paddle stroke at a time, with the decisions and actions you make. That's very graphically a great illustration, isn't it? And the truth. How will you get there? The great power is in the moment-by-moment choices that we make. And we get to make moment-by-moment choices by being present in the now. Unity's third principle is the law of mind action. What we think, we become. Thoughts held in mind produce after their kind. So, how's your thinking? If it's stinking, make a different choice. Make a different choice. Scripture in Proverbs chapter 23, verse 7 tells us, as we thinketh in our mind, so we are. Right? So as I think, therefore I am. Again, I wish I knew this tool earlier in life. So know it now and use it. I get to control my thoughts, my attitudes, my priorities based on my choices. You do too. A Course of Miracles says, I could choose peace instead of this? So when I find myself in a situation that's less than loving, less than happy, less than what I want it to be, I can say to myself, I'm going to choose differently. Go inside, take a moment, breathe. I had to do this at Best Buy this week. Just not enough people working to help me set up my computer. It's nothing personal, Therese. Breathe through it, get to the next appointment. So what empowers our thoughts to make the right choices for us? Because my choices are for me, yours are for you, right? Well, we can choose peace over fear. We can choose compassion over judgment. And we can choose life, living while we are alive. Imagine. Charles Fillmore says that we are not imprisoned by the circumstances that we find ourselves in, rather what the response is to the circumstance. And this is where the word responsibility comes in. We get the ability to respond. Responsibility, ability to respond. And if we're not responding, sometimes, not recently, but I remember when I then chose to be a victim, consciously or unconsciously, right? And that means my shoulders are lower, my head may be down. It doesn't serve us, does it? Then I make you what's wrong with me. I call that otheritis. No, you can't be what's wrong with me. I don't care what you say about me. I don't care what you throw at me. You are not what's wrong with me. What's wrong with me would be the situation of me responding to you. So if we fix blame, we never fix the problem. So this is about choices, right? We're starting a new year. We get to spend a lot of time going within. So it's not about what life brings to us, what shows up around us. It's about the attitude I bring to life. It's about the attitude you bring to life. It is pretty simple, and it is that easy. Is it pleasant? Not always. Not always. There's a saying out there that says we can't control the cards we are dealt, and we get to decide how to play the hand we have. So we have the power, and it's within. Eric Butterworth's great book called Discover the Power Within. So, as a minister, I often get the question, why is this happening? Fill in the blank, whatever it is. And my response usually is, I'm not sure. I don't know any answers. And I don't know everything. There, I said it out loud. I do not, Therese Lee does not know everything. What a great relief. What a great relief. However, what I do know is that within the situation, whatever it is an opportunity for us to find the power within ourselves to rise above it, to deal. Now, what I can do for you is to pray with you if a situation like this comes up. So the email address where you contact us is unityofhiltonheadoffice@gmail.com. unityofhiltonheadoffice@gmail.com. So I invite us to not ask why, rather to change it around and say, how much can I get out of this situation now that it's happened? What will bring me the greatest joy of finding God in the situation, finding the good for me, my highest and my best in this situation? We get to decide. We get to decide. So let's take a moment. Let's close our outer eyes and know that as we move into a time of silence, we're going to take a little bit longer today. We allow the processing of the empowering thought that we have a choice to fill us up. We breathe it in. Breathe it in. Living, loving presence, thank you for this time together, for the time apart that we plan and we make with each other over the Ethernet to be. And we breathe. And we breathe again. And so for this gift of choices, we are grateful. Think of something that brings a smile to your face and take a moment and allow it to make manifest and have its way with you. Brings a smile to your face, something you are grateful for. It can be a food, it can be a person, it can be a place, a thing, a thought. What brings a smile to your face? And allow the feeling of gratitude to start the healing process within you. In the silence, full of gratitude. Keep your eyes closed as you're comfortable. 3 points for you to take away today. This day where we acknowledge our choices. We choose to live life as we wish, as we see, as we choose. Remembering that Scripture told us that as we do unto others, so we would have them do unto us. The law of mind action, the energy that each of us sets in motion, at some point it comes back to us. How will you bless your life? By the choices you make. Breathe with me. Number 2, choose to accept responsibility for your life, for yourself, for your thoughts, for your prayers. It is the freedom of knowing we have the choice that comes with the responsibility for our actions. And so we are able to respond. Breathe with me. Number 3, choose to make a difference as you choose to respond to your life with peace and in love. making time to breathe as you respond, allowing yourself to be the powerful spiritual being that you are already. It's what and who you've come here to be in 2023. And we breathe again. And we breathe again. We give great thanks to the presence, the spirit that resides within us, what I call the living, loving presence. Thank you for guiding us, for directing us, protecting us from choices that we use our free will to make. Thank you for the reminder in each moment that we, each of us, are created in the very image and likeness of all that is love. Therefore, we are love expressing into the world. And we breathe again. We affirm in the silence of prayer that we truly can begin to find and express the peace, the love, the harmony that we desire. And we keep breathing. Each time we move from our head to our heart space, we allow our heart to open up, our mind and our ears to open up. And allowing this openness activates the spiritual being that we are to be the wonderful, unique, unrepeatable expression of God that each of us is in each moment. All it takes is our readiness, our willingness to accept, to allow, to be aware in this moment. Take another deep breath in and exhale and open your eyes. Give us some energy. Put your hand up to the screen. Let us feel you. We're grateful. Let's say our prayer for protection together. The light of God surrounds me. I am the light of God. The love of God enfolds me. I am the love of God. The power of God protects me. I am the power. And the presence of God watches over me. I am the presence. Wherever God is, I am. And so we know that all is according to our wellness. A little bit of a different ending. Breathe with me again and exhale. Do that a lot this coming week. Do that a lot. And know that we are grateful. And we gratefully receive for your presence every time you're with us online, in person, in classes, reading emails, and your practice of generosity to P.O. Box 1392, Bluffton, South Carolina, 29910, or via our website where all of our talks and all of my articles in the Bluffton Sun are archived, www.unityofhiltonhead.org. There's a practice generosity button. You can use your credit card or PayPal. We are grateful. Thank you for being with us. Many blessings as you be all you've come here to be in 2023. Look forward to hearing from you on email, if you so choose, at unityofhiltonheadoffice@gmail.com. Many blessings. Reverend Therese signing off, Unity Spiritual Center, Hilton Head Island, South Carolina. Many blessings.